your hair underneath of the first layer, crimp under here, and it's going to give this hair more volume. Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Laura, I'm a hairstylist, and I'm dedicated to sharing all of my secrets with you so that you can make every day a good hair day. And today I'm gonna share with you all of my favorite tips and tricks to add more volume to your hair. So if you're someone that lacks body and volume and your hair just lays flat on your head, stick around because this video is for you. And I know this might get kind of long, so I've added timestamps below so that you can click through them as you wish. Okay, so first I want to talk about the 5 different reasons why your hair may be flat, and that will help you determine at what solutions are going to be best for you. The first one is that your hair is too fine or thin. Fine hair is smaller in diameter, and thin hair, there aren't as many hairs per square inch. So you just don't have as much hair on your head as somebody with thick or coarse hair. And number 2 is actually the opposite problem, and your hair is too long, thick, and heavy. When your hair is just extremely heavy, it's gonna be weighed down and it's gonna have a harder time getting that lift that you're looking for. Number 3 is that your hair is just too straight. If you don't have any natural wave to your hair, it can have the tendency to look really thin and just flat. Number 4 is that you just aren't doing enough styling. Unfortunately, we don't all wake up out of bed with voluminous hair. Some of us do, but not all of us. Sometimes you do have to put in a little bit of work or just find a different hairstyle to utilize that will give you a little bit more volume without having to do as much work. And number 5 is that you've just had the same hairstyle for too long. When we wear our hair the exact same way day after day, it has a tendency to lie a bit flatter. Switching up your hairstyle every once in a while will help you achieve more volume, as well as it can actually stop your hair from thinning out at your part line. Okay, now let's dive into the solutions. I have 13 different solutions to attaining more volume in the hair. I've also linked my blog post below that goes a little bit more in depth on each solution. I'm just giving you a basic summary here. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is using the right products. You want to make sure you reach for products that are volumizing rather than moisturizing. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't be conditioning your hair or using any moisturizers at all. It just means that using heavier moisturizing products are just gonna weigh your hair down. And I also wanna point out to make sure that you're not using too much product. If you're using too much product, even if it's a volumizing product, you still are going to weigh your hair down. When it comes to mousse and root lifters, only apply them at your root. Do not apply them throughout the rest of your hair. You can apply thickening products throughout the rest of your hair, like a thickening spray gel or a blowout spray. But when it comes to like a mousse, you only want to apply that to your root area. Okay, so next up is blow drying your hair with a round brush. If your hair is lacking volume and you aren't currently round brushing your hair, then this is a really good place to start. Typically, the larger the brush you use, the more volume you'll get. Now, I quickly want to show you that when you round brush your hair, the best way to do it is to over direct. So if you can see, this is where my hair is growing from. Take your brush and pull it up and over and turn the brush as you're going through. This will really help to give you that volume that you're looking for because you're over directing. Another tip is to blow dry your hair the opposite way that it's gonna lay. And then at the last minute, flip it to where you're gonna wear it. Okay, so next I want to talk about some other hot tools. If you struggle with a brush and a blow dryer, juggling the two in your hands, check out a blowout brush. That will make things a lot easier for you. Some other options are curling your hair, using a 3-prong waver, using a flat iron to create some curve, and you can also even crimp your hair up towards the root. If you want to try that out, separate your hair underneath of the first layer, crimp under here, and it's going to give this hair more volume. This hair will sit up higher because the hair is crimped underneath. But if heat tools aren't for you, fear not, because there are some heatless wave options that you can try out. Some of the old school methods are Velcro rollers or even hot rollers, though those do require a little bit of heat. One of the more recent trendy ways that has re-emerged is a bendable rod that you wrap your hair around and you sleep in or wear it while you're doing laundry, and you take it out and your hair has wonderful voluminous waves. Whichever method you use, I recommend spraying some hairspray in while it's sitting and then combing it out with your fingers or a wide tooth comb when you're done. Next, I want to talk about teasing the hair. And when you think of teasing the hair, your mind may go to either the 60s or the early 2000s, but it doesn't have to. You can tease your hair just a little bit, just to add a little bit of more oomph to it. My favorite tool for teasing is a teasing brush like this. Just make sure if you do opt to tease your hair that you're doing it properly and not the wrong way. You don't want to go in and go zigzaggy like this in your hair. That's how you wind up with damage. The best way to do it is hold the hair out, go in, up, out, down. In, up, out, down. This is especially helpful if you're looking for volume in a specific area on your head. Okay, so next I want to talk about switching up your part. If you've been wearing your part the same way for the last decade, then it is 100% time to switch. If you always have your hair parted going this way, the hair on this side is eventually going to become thinner. There's no way around it. I see it day after day in the salon. Your hair gets used to laying the same way, and when the same side is exposed to the elements over and over, it's going to thin out. The hair over on this side, because there's more hair, it's more protected. So if I were to switch my part and wear my hair this way, look at how much more volume I have. Even if I were to blow dry my hair this way, I still would have so much more volume because I've been wearing my hair the opposite way for a while. Okay, so the last styling trick I want to share with you guys is to play around with different styles. And I don't just mean how you're parting your hair or adding curls. I mean wearing your hair half up, half down. Clipping some of your hair up is going to reduce a lot of the weight of your hair being pulled down. If some of it's picked up, you have the option to get a lot more volume. You could also do full ponies or even braids and try to find new ways to add volume to your hair. Okay, so these next few that I want to talk about are revolved around hair cutting. So this section is going to be particularly good for those that have thick or coarse hair that is lying flat, but those with fine hair will definitely benefit from some texturizing and cutting as well. Okay, so if your hair is extremely long, just know that you're not going to be able to achieve a lot of volume unless you lose a little bit of length. When the hair is really long, it's just heavier and there's not really any way around that. A lot of times when we take off some length, it actually looks and feels like we have more hair. And this is because some of the weight is taken off and it's a lot lighter and lifted up. If you don't want to lose a whole lot of length, then opt for trying some layers. Layers can be a great option if you don't want to part with any length, but you want to remove some bulk. So if you're looking for some more volume, taking some weight off of the pieces that are coming from up here, but leaving your length is going to be a good option. So layers are referring to exterior layers. Texturizing is referring to interior layers. Exterior layers you can see. Interior layers, you can't physically see where they are, but you can see where the bulk lies. If you have a particular area on your head where it's not achieving volume, it seems very heavy or bulky, then you'll texturize the ends of the hair to remove some weight so that it can get lifted up a little bit more. This is actually all I do to my hair as I don't have any hard exterior layers. Okay, so now I want to add a few more unsuspecting ways that you can add more volume to your hair. And the first one is with hair color. So you may or may not have noticed this, but coloring your hair actually gives it more volume. Whenever my roots have grown out really far, my hair is laying so flat to my head. And that's because the hair is so healthy that it is so slick and smooth. The outer layer of your hair resembles fish scales and they open and close. When those fish scales are closed and super slick and smooth and healthy, the hair is gonna lie super flat. But if you do just a little bit to rough those up so that they stay a little bit more open, your hair is gonna have a lot more volume. I've had a lot of clients that were completely gray and we just added a few highlights to their hair just so they could get more volume. You couldn't see these highlights because their hair was already white, but you could tell a difference with the volume when the hair was highlighted versus when it wasn't. Okay, so next is perming the hair. Now, perming the hair is very controversial, and I don't personally recommend perming your hair if you have it colored. So this is kind of a one or the other option, but a body wave can be a great option to add more volume to your hair. You can always blow dry it out and you'll have a lot more volume. And the last solution is to add extensions or even a hairpiece. And this is really if your hair is just so thin and fine and you've tried everything and there's not really a whole lot else you can do. Sometimes even just adding a few extensions in the front can make a big difference. You have a lot of different options when it comes to extensions and hair pieces. You can use clip-ins, a halo, tape-ins, microbeads, fusions, a sewn-in weft, even wigs and toppers. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you found this helpful. Make sure you subscribe if you wanna make every day a good hair day. Thanks for watching.